playoff football going. Hopefully it's been exciting somewhat to a point. Um, Again, I did a couple of lives throughout Saturday and Sunday. We covered a majority of the games. I just forgot and never got a chance to cover this one, unfortunately, due to scheduling. Um, but we have this one in the bag. So the sorry, I used to call them San Diego. This They had moved, unfortunately. So the Los Angeles Chargers, was going up against the New England Patriots, which the Patriots pulled off via 16-3, and the Patriots will advance, so they will be ended up facing the winner of tonight's matchup between my team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Houston Texans. The Texans that will be visiting the Steelers tonight, but going to the topic at hand, we're going on where the Patriots pulled through. Can't say dominant fashion. Team did make a mistake. They had one turnover per se. Um Unfortunately for the Chargers in the 2010s, they have not been able to find success, unfortunately, throughout the playoff or their playoff history. Um, I don't know. They have a long standard, unfortunate curse. Even before like the previous like Marty Schottenheimer days, I don't know if anybody's familiar with him. As their former head coach, but they ended up not making enough plays. With the skill level of personnel that's on that roster, you would have felt that they would have at least competed a little bit more. But the unfortunate thing is that they are booted out of the first round, which gives them their seventh loss of the year. Again, very not high but prominent season for them. Like I said, I think this is the first probably since 20, maybe I think since 2020 or maybe 21, since they've made the playoffs. In this aspect, of course, being in the West when the Kansas City Chiefs have been predominantly dominating that division, um, they still unfortunately cannot shake the Denver Broncos. And unfortunately, the Kansas City Chiefs were relevant, but they weren't the threat that we always known them for. Unfortunately, hello there, welcome to the live. Make sure you subscribe. Um, Again, they Drake May, he performed well. Didn't make too many silly decisions, and for too many didn't make too many silly decisions. Um, they played the sound game. I can't say they did anything spectacular. Stefan Diggs was involved in the game as well. Um, they're like I said, they had a good script as far as like the game plan was. Making sure they made enough good plays. Not too spectacular, but just like I said, enough in order to win 16-3. Like I said, with the final in this score. Um, Again, the Patriots kind of shows you that they're making that pathway to greatness again, even without the Tom Brady being at the helm. But again, New England Patriots came through 16-3. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the probably the lowest scoring game throughout the whole entire playoff weekend. Even so, because I think about every team has either went to over 50 points or more. So this is the only playoff game that has only scored under 20 points. So you could say it was either a sound game, good defense, bad offense, bad execution more so. Especially I could say on the Chargers aspect, I would have thought that it would have been a little bit more competitive, but the dynamic of this is you win or go home in these playoff bouts. And like I said, Drake May and the Patriots were absolutely um They were absolutely ready. That's the one thing I could say about this team has shocked a lot of heads coming into the season. Of course, with their um 15 win now, they've advanced to the divisional round. Again, they will be facing the winner of the Texans versus the Steelers. I kind of like. I'm not just going to be. This is a biased Steelers opinion, so I do kind of like um our chances more against New England, but we had to get past Houston first. So again, this is going to be a true testament, like I say, for both teams, for either one to make sure that they play at their very best. And I can expect that New England, they will not be a pushover whatsoever. And again, I'm not jumping ahead of the bush. I'm just saying, looking at prediction wise, is like I said, because I'm a Steelers fan, I'm just looking at the level of competition. I actually do like our chances better against New England. I feel in this aspect, but again, we had to get past Houston and that young gun team. So again, they are no joke whatsoever. Nicole Collins, like I said, I feel like he's developing into, like I said, a preliminary receiver within their offense. CJ Stroud, like I said, he's very vastly well, but that still remains to be seen. But I'm still going to stay on this topic at hand more so. So I think going into this, I never felt anything special for the Chargers whatsoever throughout their whole regular season, nor throughout anything else. They may have gotten that first early season win against the Kansas City Chiefs, but even so, with that, I wasn't even too thrilled because Kansas City has been off since even the Super Bowl loss or Super Bowl hangover per se. So again, there's so many things I could say about the team within the whole, but personally for me, and no takeaway, especially from the young QB, that is Justin Herbert, but I do not feel that this will be the place where he needs to be in order to have a decent career. And rather if it's the front office, rather if it's just hiring personnel, I just don't feel like the kid's career is going to be sustainable within LA. Rather, if you want to say that he's going to be this franchise's Philip Rivers, then that's okay. But Philip had earlier success. He had earlier playoff wins. I think him and Lamar was in the same draft class, and I think Lamar has more playoff wins than him. But yet everybody said Justin Herbert's a better quarterback. So this is where the more so biasness and argumentative statements come in for me. Is that if he hasn't shown you no success, how could we rank him above anybody else? And that's just going over anything because I've heard um several takes. This takes towards one Jalen Hurts saying that he's not better than Herbert, but Hurts has had more of a conversation to say I'm in the top five rather than Justin Herbert has at any point in time in his career at this point. And clearly that has shown, like I said, it's my biased opinion. I feel like Justin Herbert will be a good quarterback, rather if it be they're still at the Chargers or even so at anywhere else. I even feel like if he could, maybe he might even still do good in New Orleans just to give him the level of competition, or even so with Atlanta. Maybe like I said, I know they got their quarterback that they're just trying to develop with. So again, I don't see how Justin Herbert after if then maybe the next 2 years end up being like this and the same results keep parrying, I have a feeling that maybe the guy might end up wanting to go on a trade block somewhere. Trade rumor, I'm sorry. But I feel like he will be well celebrated and well used. Definitely somewhere else other than the Chargers. But with this in the franchise for where it's at, I don't feel like the overturned. I feel like this could have been the turnover for them per se to turn up, but unfortunately they didn't do what they need to do against the Patriots. And again, there's a few takeaways I could take. Again, the game wasn't even that stellar. I've watched the highlights per se. I kind of wasn't even that thrilled with watching it also. So that's another thing you could take with a grain of salt. But again, the Patriots, they did, they got their first playoff win since the Brady era, and I do believe that has been since 2019, 2020. So it's been a while. At this point now, take it with a grain of salt. And again, I won't be doing um more NFL coverage at this point. Again, everybody, if you are in the live, please hit that like and subscribe again for my NFL vlog lives. And like I said, still join me for all of my fitness content and everything else like that. And we'll probably be also trying to get more. If you are a part of my greatness community, then go ahead. We'll probably be introducing sports betting also as well. Um, like I said, just we're gonna hang in there. If you are a Steelers fan, then go ahead and celebrate with me and watching them tonight. And hopefully, because I'll probably end up being asleep, but I will be rooting for them. So, like I said, hoping that my team end up facing the New England Patriots in the divisional round next game, hopefully, and it'll be a good game regardless of what. But I will get back with more live sessions later on. I am going to probably be doing a workout segment. So, if you would, join me in for my next live session, and then we'll get back with y'all another time. Please like and subscribe, and take it easy.